Caravan gas can be a great help on your holidays, cooking your food and keeping you warm, but if it's not carefully maintained, it can also be fatally dangerous. To get some top tips on maintaining your caravan's gas system, I'm joined today by Neil Greentree from Greentree's Adventure Store. So Neil, why is caravan gas safety so important?
With the gas systems, it's a convenient part of caravaning, but at the end of the day, it is a volatile substance. And with a caravan, you have a mobile system where you have gas bottles supplying to appliances. So the three key things you've really got to do is those appliances must be serviced, and they must be serviced by the right people and regularly. The second thing to bear in mind is ventilation. Now, all caravans have mandatory ventilation. I'm not talking about the roof lights, I'm talking about vents which are fitted to the caravan which cannot be shut off. Now, those are there for a reason, and they're there that if you have a problem with gas or with carbon monoxide, it's allowed to exit the caravan safely and with no problem. Don't block them. They do cause drafts, I know, in windy conditions, but you always leave them open. And the third thing, as I mentioned before, is the silent killer, carbon monoxide. Now, you can't smell it, you can't see it, but it's deadly. And with caravans, some have flues, which are chimneys which take those exhaust gases away from the caravan, but we have the ovens and grills and hobs. They are not flued, so that carbon monoxide must go into the caravan, and you must ventilate it. Now, in modern caravans now, it's mandatory that we have carbon monoxide testers. Those are great things. They do look like smoke detectors, so please be sure that you don't confuse the two. If you take as a rule of thumb, if you buy a caravan, whether it be private or from a dealer, it's just good practice that you look to see that there are two testers in there. And if you have two, then you have a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide tester. If you only have one, then you need one more ideally.
And how often do you need to check in your caravan to a service centre to get it serviced?
It must come to a caravan dealer annually to have a proper, competent person do certain checks. And I think to maybe expand a little bit on that, they don't just put a bit of pressure in there and see if it leaks. There's far more to a proper gas check than that. They will monitor how the flame burns. They will monitor where the carbon monoxide goes within the vehicle. They will check to see that, in fact, the flues are behaving as they should do. So it really is worth spending that money on making sure your caravan is functioning properly, because the consequences can be ultimate.
In between services, what can caravanners do to make sure that their gas system is operating properly?
There's some real basic checks which you can do to really give you a heads up whether you need to be taking that caravan to a dealer in between its annual check. Now, the first thing any customer can do is a visual check, where you basically look at the pipes, you look at the joints, and you look at the contact, the pigtail which connects the regulator to the gas bottle. And those visual checks, by bending the rubber tubing just a little bit, putting a little bit of pressure, just seeing if there any cracks appear, those basic things can give you an indicator that there could be something wrong. And the other thing you can then do is, if you think you are using more gas and quicker than you think you should be using, turn your gas on, take some fairy liquid, put it in a cup, add a little bit of water, bubble it all up, so aggregate it with a paintbrush, and then on all your joints in the caravan, dab that fluid onto there. And what will happen is, if you have a gas leak, bubbles will form. And if you're seeing bubbles form, then you basically book it into for a dealer then to take a look at correcting that fault.
Excellent. Neil Greentree, thank you very much for your advice today. No problem. So Lee, you service caravans for a living. How should people know if their gas isn't burning properly?
The main thing is really to look for yourself, would be if when you light your hobs and everything, if you've got a yellow flame, that would suggest that it's not burning correctly and something's amiss, and it could actually be causing carbon monoxide build-up in your van. So it's always worth getting things checked out. If you've got a yellow flame like that and it's not a nice blue flame, then you could have a problem there, and you need to get it checked out, really.
And of course, it's not just the cooker that burns gas, you've also got the gas fridge. How can people tell if there's a problem with their gas fridge?
The only thing you can really check on is the actual vent on the outside. If you happen to have a build-up of carbon which have come up as like a black mark on the side of your van, that would suggest that things aren't burning quite correctly, and that you'd need to get that looked at and possibly have it serviced. Some vans would actually have the fridge on the awning side, and if you've got a full awning up on the side of your van and that's not burning correctly, you'd have a build-up of carbon monoxide in your awning, which is not very good, especially if you've got people sleeping in there. Some people use it as an extra room when they're out on holiday and things like that. So that's not very good at all.